Oh boy. Make sure we good to go. All right. So here's the deal. I will keep this as short and brief as I can, but let me just go ahead and just let you know. So I am on my way to becoming what I like to call a Trek expert. Okay. I'm trying to adapt all the knowledge I can from like all the Star Wars shows, some of the which I watched as a child and growing up, and some of which are coming out now a little bit more recently. And as of late, my most recent conquest was Star Trek Voyager. Now, let me give you a little bit of background as to how I came into this decision. I actually watched as a child. Well, I don't say a child, but growing up, I watched Star Trek, the original, with Kirk, Spock, Uhura, Scotty, Sulu. We could go down the whole line, right? But then I also watched TNG, The Next Generation, with Picard, with Geordie LaForge, Data, with Dr. Crusher and all of that good stuff. Commander Riker, even Tasha and Worf. And then came Deep Space Nine, right? Deep Space Nine came around when around the turn of the century. I think around 1993, when I was in high school. I was a little less involved with Deep Space Nine, but I remember being hella intrigued because obviously you have Captain Sisko, who is our captain, the first black captain, not just captain, but commander. And yes, he did start as a commander. He started as a captain, then the board came for his wife, and then he went to command the ship, and then he went to emissary, and then he ended up being captain again, and then eventually, hopefully, that admiral came about for him as well. As of late, the one that I realized evaded me was Voyager. I think that by the time Voyager came out, I might have just about lost. I don't want to say lost, but my I don't want to say interest died down, but I just was, more focused on other things like studies and so on and so forth or whatnot. So I don't think that I really indulged in the Voyager series as much as I did say with some of the others. So I recently binged like the entire 7 seasons worth of Voyager. And I gotta come correct with something real quick. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm just gonna just look me in the eye right quick. Just come on in, come in closer. Okay, back up too close. I wasn't feeling it at first. After watching Deep Space Nine and sitting there watch this majestic, glorious, this oratory genius named Benjamin Sisko conquer the trials of not only the Deep Space Nine vessel, the whole Cardassian versus Bajoran and guarding that whole wormhole and having to be the emissary, but not really be the emissary, and then come up find that he actually was the half alien. Like it's all crazy. So when I'm introduced to the concept of Deep Space, of Voyager, I'm like, okay, what this is about? I heard that this is about because they was lost. Well, let me tell you, I wasn't feeling it at first because the very first episode, the first thing we get is Captain Janeway basically saying, nah, man, we're going to abide by the quote unquote prime directive, do no harm, and we're going to sacrifice our whole entire mission, our whole entire crew for the sake of a race that we just met a few minutes ago, the Ocampans. And that drove me off, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what? You're doing what? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the same captain. This is the same people that will like literally put all of the crew in jeopardy to go back to a planet to rescue one of their valued members of the bridge, such as, I don't know, Mr. Kim or maybe Mr. Paris or Balana Torres or whatever. So I was turned off the first couple episodes. I'm just going to keep it 100. Unlike when I watched DS9 and I was like, whoa, I'm here and I'm ready. But as I continued to watch, the more I kind of got it. All right, I get it. So let's just start with square one. So yeah, Captain Janeway, the young lady right here who basically had the hairstyle changes over the years. The older one, I think the original one was kind of like a bun up in the hair. I think that was meant to represent like her original mentality or whatever, how she was when she was green behind the ears. And then she had the one that we see on this poster right here, where it's a little more relaxed. I mean, who knows? I'm sure that if I get a chance to interview her, I'd like to ask, like, what was was there any thoughts behind these? Now, for me, I couldn't stand Janeway. Like the first season, I was angry at her. I was like, who wrote this? I was like, are you serious? Like, yo, why would you write it so that they literally sacrifice themselves to get 70,000 light years away from Earth, which is potentially a 75-year journey back? But now you have some Ocampans. I was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling this. But I would tell you what was satisfying